Four, three, two, one, go. All right, looks like I am pretty much live, and yes, I'm always early. Especially when I do double shifts like this, one here and then one on the dice tower. I like to give myself some time in case of any kind of break I may need or any kind of technical difficulty because I'm not the most savvy here. Von Deacon, Sean, Matthew, Dennis, Mr. Figs himself. How are you? I hope everyone is well. All right, Spiral Mine. Wow, you even made it early. Jeez. Well, where? Rob, how are you? Haven't seen. Well, I think I saw you last week, if I remember correctly. Well, let's get right to it. Okay, we're restarting War and Pieces, and it'll be every Wednesday. On this channel at 6 o'clock, and on the Dice Tower at 7. What I'm going to do with this one right now, today, is we're not going to take a look at some of the stuff because we're going to save it for the next hour, which will be on the Dice Tower. Ming, how are you? Nathaniel. I'm really happy to do this again after talking with Tom and getting such a big response on people wanting wargaming and somebody to handle the war games. So the thought is that I was going to stop doing reviews, period. Okay, but instead I'm going to focus on the wargaming aspect. There's going to be a few changes that you're going to see over the next couple of weeks. Painting 101 is going away forever. I'm going to do Painting 101, kind of a super remastered for this channel to make sure that we have everything that we need in our 101s. But on Board Game Breakfast, we will not be doing that anymore. Instead, Miniature World, which used to be on Throat Punch Lunch, is actually going to move over to Board Game Breakfast. The reason is it gives me more range to do things. Painting 101, I mean, after 109 episodes, segments, how much more could you cover, you know? And in a 3-minute time, that doesn't give you much time. So every Thursday, my painting live thing will still be there, and that's when you can ask all the 101 questions, and I can go over a lot of 101 techniques. So we're going to keep all the painting nice and condensed there. On Thursday, I am going to be doing Kickstarter Amerithrash news from now on Throat Punch Lunch every couple of weeks. So that's some of the changes that you're going to see. You're going to see me doing more things and handling the wargaming aspect for the Dice Tower, as well as making sure that we have it here. King Puffer, how are you? Mario, how are you? So that's the way we want to do that. So this first hour, I just want to kind of take a few questions, and then we're really going to go into some content and everything onto the Dice Tower. So that's why I kind of started this early, because we'll break off for about 15 minutes, get set up, come back on the Dice Tower, introduce what we're going to do, and I can run through. I've got a ton of paperwork here of notes and things that we're going to talk about, and some games here that we're going to talk about. But while we're here, you know, it's a good time for you guys to kind of tell me some of the things that you want to see and hear. And I'm going to save this letter. I do want to say that I've been getting boxes every single day from people on our channel here. And I am absolutely, completely blown away by the things that people have done, the letters they've written, and the amount of people that want to help and have helped. And I will go into detail a little bit because it kind of ties in with War and Pieces with one letter. But there's just another letter where a gentleman sent some money and asked for me to help some of the homeless, especially homeless vets. And we're going to take care of it. We're going to do our best to be the best to everyone. So I want to thank everyone out there. And I have a list of people in my vlog that you'll see. Now, Nerdy Tom, how are you? Charles, good to see you as always. Are we talking about new war games, old games, combination of both? Yes. That's the best way to explain it. We're going to be talking about the past. We're going to be talking about things that are going to be coming out with the future. I've written all the major companies, let them know about this segment, and we're going to be talking about everything. We're going to build something for the older crowd, but we're going to open it up so we can bring in some new blood. One of the things that I've noticed over the last couple of years, particularly in wargaming, is that you see the same people every time at the convention, okay? And they may bring their sons, but you never see anybody new. That's because nobody's venturing out that way. And I think with the massive amount of board games that are out nowadays, okay, that the truth is that people are going to want, there's going to be a group out of this huge golden age of board gaming that's going to want to be tested and challenged even more than what they are now. And they may steer over to this, this genre, that's, if I can get it out of my mouth, they're going to come over to wargaming and they're going to say, wow, this is something. But if we have still the same old stale type of attitudes and elitist, we are not going to grow this hobby. Now, you're going to see because we're going to do a history of wargaming actually on the Dice Tower, and we're going to do that tonight. It's going to say, and it's going to open your eyes to a lot of things, because it opened my eyes to a lot of things. And I think it's very important that we open this door. We open this door and welcome this younger generation that doesn't understand the bravery, the insurmountable odds, some of the key decisions that had to be made on the spot, having pressure, having gunfire over your head, and having to make split decisions. Spiral Mind, are there gateway war games? Yes, there are so many, and so many wonderful companies out there that are making it easier to do this. Hi Rob, thanks again for your info on the Star Spawn painting. Surprised to see you suddenly come on live. Well, I like to come on live. Matter of fact, this channel is probably 80% live, maybe 90%. I think that's when I do my best. I mean, if I could sit there and let the camera roll and sit there and talk to nobody, but I like the closeness with my community. I don't separate myself from the community. And that's where this channel differs from everybody else. And that's what I'm trying to kind of squeeze in, this coexistence between watcher and host, or whatever you want to call it. I want there to be I want us to be all one community, and I'm trying to make that movement onto the Dice Tower by doing more live events as well. War and Pieces every week will be live on both channels, and I think it's a good way to talk about things, not just give my opinion, but to get your opinion too. And as you know, I like to read all the comments. So as we get bigger, I mean, who knows how that'll be, but I do the best I can here. Let's continue on here. Mini gamers and war gamers seem to be two groups that are diverging. Can they coexist? Of course they can. We all can coexist. It's teaching people how to coexist. Okay, you're always going to have the extreme left and extreme right. That's in every aspect of life. But somewhere there is a gray area, and we have to get as many people into that gray area as we possibly can. Some games are not pure war games, such as Battlelore. They are almost, hold on, everything's moving so quick. I just got to move this back up a little bit to finish reading this. They are almost a war game, board game hybrid. Would these type of games be covered under this new segment? Yes. Yes, we will not keep it to a World War II, Napoleonic kind of age. We will hit that very, very hard, okay? And we will really, really make an effort to really bring that to the forefront. But, there are some games that, I mean, there are some 4X games that are very strategic war games. When I say war, anything can be anything that where two sides confront each other in a realistic and we're going to kind of, I think we'll draw the line at some point in some place. I kind of want to stay a little bit away from the fantasy based stuff, but when I say War and Pieces, I would kind of stretch it to some of the bigger, companies that do World War II games do some space games. I'd like to cover some of those. Ogre, yeah, that's a war game. It's futuristic, yes, it walks that edge, but I don't want to put a lot of boundaries on this. I want to make this something where everybody's comfortable and it's something for everybody. You may see Ogre one week and go, wow, that was a pretty good show. I wonder what they're doing this week. Well, they're doing old school tactical. Well, what's that all about? Well, it's about World War II. I don't like World War II. Well, maybe because I felt such, connection with the group, I'll stick around and watch it for a little bit. And then maybe, you never know, it might hit something or something in their core, or there be some kind of mechanic that touches someone and makes them want to try things, something different. Let's see. Let me just make sure. Are there any good two-player war games? There are so many two-player war games, it goes beyond words. Let's see. Throw away the tweezers. Yes, throw away the tweezers. Those days are gone. They make bigger chits now. And don't get me wrong, we're going to take a look at some of those things. The Gateway war games, there's a ton of them. I've used them with the kids, and they work fantastically. Are we talking about new, old? Yeah, okay. I wanted to make sure I got everybody's questions because that's what I like to do. Appreciate it a lot, no matter what channel. Well, thank you, Engelman. This is a different type of channel and community than a lot of people are used to. We're a very close-knit community. We really believe in what we do, and I think we do a lot of good, but we also have a lot of fun together. And everybody enjoys watching Justin throw a beating on us. But it won't happen this Saturday, because this Saturday I'm by myself. The only person that's going to get beat is me by the game itself. Matt, how are you, my friend? I couldn't even tell you what our multiplayer other than the coin series. Well, we're going to investigate that. We're going to ease into things. We're going to talk a lot about things. We're going to make people understand where this hobby has gone, where it's going. We're going to be talking to people about the P500. We're going to try to get people from GMT. We're going to try to get people from Academy Games, Decision Games, Multi-Man Games. We're going to try to get everybody involved. And if they want their product shown on here, and they have something that they want to show you, this is the place that you're going to want to go, because you're going to have the biggest audience, and you guys will get to make that decision. You'll get to look inside the box. We'll do a turn or two. We'll figure out the rules together. We'll do things together. Of course, I'll do the best I can to read as much as I can prior, but there'll be certain things that maybe you guys have done or can help with, and we'll all work it out together and make it as painless as possible for everyone. I want to save some of the things I have to say for the opening on Dice Tower, because I think it's kind of important, because we're taking a different approach to wargaming for once. Young people are further removed from a lot of these events and may never feel the same way about it. If that's not okay, they won't feel welcome. Well, see, here's the difference. I think when you talk about this kind of thing, yeah, they're removed from it. But, sometimes when a certain core game, or you explain the history behind it, and you talk a bit about the game, you just don't open up the game, well, this is from GMT, and the designer, so forth and so on, and I like this mechanic because, no, What's this game about? Okay? Tell the story about the game. Tell the story about the events. Okay, they don't understand it, but maybe you hit a couple of them. Maybe if 10 of them watch, maybe you only hit 3 or 4. Okay? And then what happens is maybe they go watch a documentary. You know, Rob was talking about that, and the group was talking about that on War and Pieces. They were talking about the Battle of the Bulge, which I have quite a big surprise about the Battle of the Bulge that I'm going to save for next week. It's quite moving, and I think you guys will enjoy it. I've planned this out, and I've thought about this, how I want to handle this. You know, talk about the Napoleonics, talk about ancients, talk about all kinds of things, but also open it up so it's fun, so it's just not a history lesson, but it's a fun experience. And finding the balance is going to be hard. I never said this was going to be easy, reaching a new group, but taking a new approach, taking a new angle at things, reaching out and saying, you're welcome here. This is a home for you. You want to use all that gray matter that you have. You're very intelligent people out there. Come learn. Come understand. Come be a part of something. Same way we do with this channel. We grow it by being impassioned about what we believe in. And if we believe in the segment, we can do the same and reach a ton of people. Let's see. What would you say makes a game a war game? For me, it's historical. Covering a battle that you can possibly change the outcome to. For me, that is a essential war game. World War II is easy for young people to imagine, thus easy to sell. Yeah, but what do you do with the Vietnam War, which was such an unpopular war? The Korean War. You talk about the Cold War. What goes on military-wise, the way the world is now. Just taking a look. Von Deacon, don't read all of the Wikipedia. I got it all printed out. You'll ruin the show. Kidding. But I think taking it and putting faces, and I've said this earlier in War and Pieces when we were doing onesies, twosies, was that I wanted those pieces of cardboard to mean more to somebody than just a piece of cardboard, that they were actually people, and people who bravely went forward. They never went back, and fought for beliefs, whatever the belief may be. Old school tactical like Avalon Hill's D-Day, yeah, everything. You know, there's even a game called Old School Tactical, which I can't wait to show off. It's enormous. Nice to see your non-work side. Well, thank you, 407. Moto. Okay, it's probably someone. Mike Jones, will you be covering Warhammer 40K? Come on, you knew I would be asking. Of course I'm going to be covering 40K at some point. But I'm thinking of doing, and I've talked about this, doing a Games Workshop segment. Because they are so legendary, and covering from the beginning all the way to this very day, and giving them their moments, and showing off their wares, and working and painting on things. So I think that is going to be a Tuesday night show, which will start at the first of the year. You're going to see Warhammer 40K /fantasy / their box games. And that will be on both channels. As classic as some old war games are, I think there's much better war games out today. I agree. But you can't go forward until you understand the past. And that's the way I always felt about things. There can be something really terrific and moving and fantastic that you play now, and then you want to learn more about things that came out because they remind you of something, and somebody may say, hey, this reminds me of Third Reich a little bit, but done in a better way. So you're going to go, really, Third Reich? I really like this game. I wonder about that game. Maybe I wonder about Anzio or things like that. We're gonna cover a lot of stuff. We got a lot of ground. This is something that's going to be every week. So just think about it. I've got to come up with a show 52 weeks a year, barring having to miss 3 or 4 of them somewhere in there. Conventions, so forth and so on. Shaking hands, kissing babies, all that kind of stuff. Life, that pops up too. Let's not forget that. But if we really thought about it, 40 shows. Let's call that as a minimum. 40 shows we've got to come up with. Think of all we can do in 1 year. That's quite a bit when you really think about it. N. Oh, scary bald guy. Good one, my friend. As classic as some of the old war games are, I think there are much better war games out today. Even the newer versions of old Avalon Hill games are better than when they originally came out. Well, it's 2 different ages, but sometimes in order to appreciate what you have now, you have to go back. You have to see what we had. It's kind of like, well, I used to walk 2 miles over a hill while it was snowing and 3 feet of snow to get to school. And you just get on a bus. Well, you can't appreciate it until you see it and do it. I can tell you all about it. But until you see it, you can't understand. Still can't trust the cheetah, even in solo play. Yeah, he'll be up to something. That snake. Von Deacon said he'll be right back. Well, we'll be waiting. Academy's Games Birth of America series. War game enough to be featured. They are going to be featured heavily because I think, I really think that they play a big part. And I really, really love what Academy Games are doing. My relationship with Academy Games seems to be growing. I really enjoyed the time that I got to spend with them at Board Game Geek, and just let them know that I was going to really support them because I love what they do. The stubble looks good on you. My wife's been trying to get me to grow a goatee. She says I look meaner that way. I've always been a baby face. Oh, by the way, Esper, how are you? And Sourman, good to see you, my friend. Mash the board game. I actually have no idea how that would work. Personally, if I were a game company, I wouldn't touch Korea or Vietnam or Operation Cobra with a 10-foot pole. Well, something we would... I think you've got to talk about these things sometimes, make people understand what has gone on, how life takes a turn, and how, as unfavorable things can be, still talk about them and process them, whether they're right or wrong. A lot of things are not right or wrong, but I think if we do things peacefully and talk about it and explore certain things, we can learn a lot. We can learn a lot from man's follies. Isn't that in a Godzilla song? History goes... Yeah, okay, something like that. Would you call Talon a war game despite the theme? Well, that's that gray area. But Talon, because it is from GMT, we will be taking a look at it. I really want to support these companies. In that P500, I want to get that list every month. As a matter of fact, I have a email out to the marketing president, thanks to Tom, who knows everybody, obviously. And we're going to say, hey, listen, we've got this segment. People are a big part of it. Number 1, we like the list. Number 2, I'm not the list, but what's coming out, what's going to be out, what can you get in our hands, and what can we show everybody so they can make their own decisions. I don't think you have that on the internet right now. I'm sure that it's out there, but for the people that we can reach and touch, with the power of the dice tower, I think I think it's very mission critical that we do such. Let me just take out my phone here. Sorry. Okay. I don't know why I had it in my pocket. Usually that's the last thing I want to see is my phone. Heck yeah! Rob's GW comment. Yep, we are going to really... a lot of people hate GW. That is something that is not going to happen on this channel. I love everything they do. Are they overpriced? Are they run corporately? Do you wish it was back in the 90s, in the 80s? Yes, I do. Okay? But they can do 5 things wrong, but do 1 thing right, and I'll always forgive them. It's just one of those things. It's that bad ex-girlfriend that you can't forget about. She just says hi that once, and then all of a sudden your heart's fluttering again. It's kind of like the Queen of the Universe. She can yell at me 5 times, but bat her eyes twice, and then psh, I'm gone. Hey Rob, I saw that you picked up Rise and Decline of the Third Reich at BGGCon. Will you be covering it in the new segment? It has been sitting on my shelf taunting me for 2 decades. Help. Nathan, my good friend, that's one of the reasons I bought it. I was planning ahead, and when you see some of the stuff I've bought, you'll be quite amazed. Now, I've been desperately wanting to do a ASL thing, and I just can't find the book anywhere, the main updated rule book, and I've been trying to look on eBay to try to get a huge collection of it for $300 or $400. Just get it all, and pray that every chit's there, because I think it's important, and Justin will be a part of this as well, as we will be talking about ASL. And covering, there's so many cult things. It's kind of like the Blood Bowl thing yesterday. You think about it, 30 years and this game has evolved in so many different ways, and it has such a strong following. Well, so do all these games. It's just you don't hear about it because it's an older crowd and they're dying off. Having the chance next year to go see Richard Borg, which I do. I get to see him quite a few times, and maybe sit down and say, hey, put him on live. How many times have you guys gotten a chance to talk to Richard Borg live? And do it from a convention. Hey, we're going to go live. How about you answer some questions from everybody? How cool of a segment would that be? People like that. It's your chance for the experienced war gamer to have some investment, to talk to some of these old timers that have really made a difference in wargaming, and also to open the eyes of the newer guy. And I think that's what we really want to hit home. Gotta take a swig of water, excuse me. See, this is good. This is all about this segment. That's all we ever ask. I've got 2 thumbs down already. Awesome. Guess they hate this already. Jens, how are you? I have a friend who says wargamers are stupid as they depict historical battles and he already knows what happens. So according to him, there is no reason to play because of that. How many of those battles were won by somebody that wasn't supposed to win? And you could play that battle over 20 times and the outcome would not be the same. Understanding how this was done and the bravery that was a part of that, I think is really something that you want to replay it. How does it feel to be able to turn the tables? Or how does it feel to, if somebody came at you differently? And, I just never agree with that kind of comment, to be honest with you. Let's see. We're going to do that. There we go. And okay. I just had to put somebody in a timeout. That's all. I think, that's very close-minded in a lot of ways. And I think that in a lot of ways that we can, learn. Take the book, The Art of War. Okay, it was written how many thousands of years ago, or whatever. Okay, does it devalue that? People have talked about it, but it's still one of the most sought after books. They've made 100 Battle of the Bulges or Blitzkriegs or D-Days, and yet we look at every one of them because we always want the one that's closest to the actual battle. There's a lot of battles that were won by a thread, or by a moment, or weather, or a split decision. What happens if those things go the other way? How would it go? Could you still overcome it? I think that's part of the challenge. It's testing your mind, testing your gray matter, testing yourself, testing your mettle. You may not have bullets flying at you, but when you see these armies coming at you, whether they're cardboard or figures or imaginary or however you want to, immersify yourself in the game. Learn something. Learn on learning how to cope with insurmountable odds. I think that is part of the thing, part of testing your mettle, testing yourself. That's my view of it. Gents, that sounds like at least partly a reaction to the problem I mentioned. Well, yeah, but if we don't try to correct that problem, make some people see it, like I said, out of 10 people, maybe we only get 2. But that's 2 more. That's 2 more. Yep, the chat won't let me post the link. Was it about the mobile hospitals in Korea? Okay, there you go. I thought I'd give you the translation of the username. Have a nice live video. Have to go. Time zones. We'll watch the rest later. Goodbye, my friend, and thank you. Oh, I'm back. I forgot I left. Who the hell gave this thumbs down? It doesn't really matter. Who cares? It doesn't matter. I watched your Blood Bowl, Josh Whitley. How are you, my friend? I watched your Blood Bowl evolution video yesterday. I think, and I've been learning everything about Blood Bowl. Can't wait to see your Sunday newbie video. I may be getting into it. Looks fun. It'll be it'll be fun. It'll be very one-sided, but I want it to be that way, and there's a reason for that. I have to push her and break. You have to push and break somebody in this game to get them to fight back. If you just let them kind of, okay, that's okay, roll 2 dice here, take that move back. No, you've got to be crushed so you come back. And you have to make that person know, listen, and you're going to feel a lot better at that. Whoops. What happened there? Hello? Did we lose the camera for some reason? Hold on, folks. I think we had a little camera issue here, which we'll fix very quickly. And uh-oh. Did the camera blow out? All right, we're back. We just had like a hiccup or something. Sorry about that. I should be back. There we go. Sorry about that. At least you guys were able to hear me through the whole thing. So, with that particular game, that's a whole different story. But back to War and Pieces. I'm sorry about that. Let's see. Jens, a war game force one to deal with the material realities of an era depicted. It's not just a PvP, thus outcomes are not assured. Very good, Nathaniel. Thank you so much. I really think that's the way you handle your friend, to be honest with you. Rob has haters that thumb down everybody has haters. It's amazing how many people are jealous. Congrats on the new DT Wargaming segment. Thank you, Larry. Like we were talking about, Advanced Squad Leader. Yeah, so I'm doing everything I can to try find everything. I know most of it is new. I'm going to try to purchase it all. It's trying to find that rule book that's up there. So once we get that, that's going to be a great. That'll probably be like a two-week segment because there is such a deep ASL core. Dennis, how are you, my friend? Rob, will you feature any of the magazine war games? GMT, World at War, Strategy and Tactics. We will talk about it all. And every time there is a new magazine, I will make sure I purchase it, and we will cover that as well. It'll be part of the first segment as we work into things. We're going to cover everything that we possibly can. If it's new, we're going to get our hands on it. I'm a big fan of what-if scenarios in war games and really interested in Operation Sea Lion. Also, what if the Korean War continued on to China and stuff like that? There's tons of games like that, and I think that's a great point. We're going to do everything we can to cover every aspect. Whether it's World War II, World War I, Napoleonics, we'll have a good balance. We have 2 hours every single week. You guys don't have to be here every week, but we will have 2 hours in which we will take the time to really cover a bunch of subjects for that particular week. And, some stuff you like, maybe some stuff you'll go, I can skip through this. Or maybe, you paint while you watch. After all, I'm known for painting, right? Rob, I Am King. I like that name. I wish I had it. Rob, I Am King. Cool name, dude. Mike Jones and Mike Jones. For the Empress, it is a love affair. Rob, have you played Conquest? Conquest. I'm not sure, Mike, what you're talking about. Conquest. You mean the card game Warhammer Conquest? Would you recommend ASL over Memoir 44? I would start with Memoir 44 and work my way very easily into ASL. There is a lot to absorb. Battle Lore is being cleared out on cool stuff and FFG. I was tempted. Oh, so tempted. I've got mine. I'm really not hitting there. Are there any Stargate board games? I'm not too sure. I'm really not too sure as far as if there are any Stargate games. For Battle Lore versus Memoir 44 is a short fight. Yeah, you always go in Memoir 44. Nathaniel, good point about underdogs. Great book. Thank you, sir. Art of War was written 2,500 years ago. Think about that. And those words still ring true if you stick to them. I suggest reading that book. It's a very interesting book. James Clavel said that any modern military office should have to pass a test about I can't say his name, I'm sorry. Sun Tzu and the Art of War. I always have a problem saying his name. I don't know why. It's that northern thing I got a problem with. I think he was right. And I agree with that. You should read it. Sun Tzu. I agree with you, Rob. Thanks all for giving me arguments to try to get my friend to play. I think you start with something that he would just find enjoyable. And there's plenty of games out there that are just generic war games. Red versus Blue. Columbia Game has a game that, it's tanks, soldiers. Red versus Blue. Tactics 2 from 1960. Okay? Red versus Blue. It's just you versus him. And that's a good way to say, well, mechanics go into the historical aspect. I always teach my students that in 1940, the French had materially the better army. In order to understand their loss, you must look at their command structure, possible for different results. There you go. YE black? No vid. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it went black. I'm back. Fade to black. Sound, no picture. We can hear you, but not see you. Hear you, but no vid. Rob, you're broke. You broke the internet. There you go. That's what I did. All right. Yeah, the camera was flimsy. If someone wanted to play a war game, I think they should be welcome to play a war game. I don't think that should be required to feel about the way someone else does. I agree with that. I wouldn't expect someone that wanted to play commission to convert to Christianity to be welcome to play it. You know, those are good points. I'm not trying to shove a war game down somebody's throat. What I want them to see is that these are very intelligent games. A lot of people like very heavy Euro games where they have to really think things out, or very heavy strategy games. Well, what often gets overlooked is this particular section of games where, strategy and passion and so much is there that you can really tap into that. All right, let's see what else we got here. I'm almost caught up with all these comments. How about that? What would be good game that has the seal of Solomon? Jeez, I don't know. This is the first segment for war games. Yes, we're introducing it. Michael, I have the first edition version of ASL Rule Binder if you want to use it. Mike, I appreciate it, but I'm going to try to grab it on my own and really try to get it so we can I believe the second edition has a lot of updated and streamlined rules. So that's what I want to be able to teach everybody, because I believe they're going to be reprinting it soon. All right, let's see. Warhammer 40 Quest Conquest, and I guess not. Very good stuff. I have it. I haven't played it yet. Oh, here we go. First troll. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please support me. Well, be doing shoutouts and donate to me streams when I stream, please. I also intro giveaways. Please subscribe to Flaming Droid Plays. So guys, when you get off here, please go check out Flaming Droid Plays. Oh, I love the internet. I love the internet. Okay, so now by doing that, I skipped ahead too much. I started watching this because Rob is the best. Thank you very much. Not much of a war gamer, but painting Blood Rage because Rob, and I'm almost done. Thanks, Rob. I'll send you pictures when I'm done. Please do. NovaPrime860@hotmail.com. You're going to see that we are going to cover a lot of miniatures and war games too, because we're not just going to leave it to board games. I'd like to get into some of the Flames of War and Bolt Action a bit and have some fun with some of that other stuff. But you're always welcome here. And of course, as you know, I paint every Thursday here and on the Dice Tower. Tomorrow's Conan, and next week, guys, guess what? Doom. Live Thursday. My copies of Tactic 2 and Blitzkrieg died in my basement flood this past summer. Timon, I'm sorry. That's a shame. Yes, there are rules for Stargate on a military wargaming forums. Oh, thanks, Alan, for helping us out. I find if folks are worried about tabletop wargaming being too much, then maybe check out Skirmish Tabletops. It's out of print, but I play Warhammer Old West with my Cowboy Town. Sounds cool. Red versus Blue Tactics 2, Blitzkrieg, both are great basic games into intros to wargaming. Good point. Rob, will you be playing Warhammer 40k Eternal Crusade on PS4 when it comes out? You betcha, if it ever comes out. I found Stargate Final Solution, but it was a DoD thing. Hey Rob, how are you today? Very good, Alan. Good to see you. Both Allens. Looks like a front. Okay. Mike Jones, is ASL out of print right now? Yes, it is, but it is coming out. Doom is still a board game? Yeah, yes, it is. Rob, do they even have soldier minis at the same scale as tanks? Wouldn't they be really small? Yes, and they do. And, we'll cover a little bit of that. We'll go light, but we'll also go heavy. I think we have to do both. If we blow everybody's brain out every week, it'll be a very boring show. I like to do the unexpected and make things a lot of fun. Although wargaming and skirmish games could be comparable, I think that designs tend to emphasize different things. Powering up, for instance, would be out of place in a war game. Exactly. Who makes Doom? None other than Final Fantasy. Fantasy Flight Games. Excuse me. I watched your CNC Agents playthrough, thinking about getting it. See, that's the kind of stuff we want to do. We want to introduce to people those different types of games. That was for Nathaniel. Okay, there we go. So we're doing pretty good. We're keeping up with things. Micro Armor would be great to see as well. There are some great rule sets on the net. Exactly. And that's what we're going to be covering. At some point we're going to break them out and say, okay, well, you have a bunch of armor. What's the best set? Let's take a look at all these different sets, go over it, and find the one that fits you the best. Yes. Right? Okay. Good girl. I always call them Final Fantasy 2. Oh, and we'll do the same for ships. 282nd scale ships and things like that. Let's see here. What else do I have here? Okay, perfect. I got all that stuff ready to go. We're at 6:30. Boy, we did an hour pretty quickly. We'll go another 15 minutes. And then what we'll do is shut this down, and then we'll get ready, and we'll come up early on the Dice Tower a little bit. Mike Jones, Warhammer did a complete historical range, but sadly they stopped it. Now I believe they cover every era. That was. Are we losing? Did we lose internet there for a second? Hold on. Nope, we're all right. We haven't dropped any frames. This is YouTube, unfortunately. Rob, this is very fun so far. Well, I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. How's the sound? The sound good? Well, I never knew that. Thanks, Alan. There's a lot of things that we can all teach each other. There's a lot of things that we can do. There's a lot of things that we are going to cover. I just look at the shelves here, and I can turn the camera and we can look at all the command and color ancients. We can look at Panzer, Warfighter, which, we have the new version and the old version. We have games galore as far as war is concerned, or war games are concerned. I can look under this table and find about 50 to 100 games. Yeah, it's definitely not me dropping frames. This is YouTube. I hope this really doesn't blow up on me on the Dice Tower. Ugh. I hate when this stuff happens. Played my first game of Sedition Wars today. Loved it. And was wondering if there's any plans for add-ons. No, that game is pretty much dead, unfortunately. I heard it's a great game. I have a copy of it. I have a couple of expansion things for it, but to be honest with you, it will be hard fought to get them to do anything with it. What about interdimensional games? Anything like that? We'll just have to see. We're going to take it week by week. As the cry for things come out, they will be fulfilled. as I always say. I think one of the things that we're really going to be taking a look at, and I'm going to be showing off that in the next segment, like Doctor Strange. No, we won't be doing that here. Hope we will get commentary tour of your gaming room someday. You know, that might be something that we do one day, once it's cleared out. We were actually thinking of moving, and the place that we are moving to, we were going to buy a horse farm, just so we can move everybody in. And it's about 10 acres and good, 8,700 square foot house, and I would have my own studio. And I think that's when we would really take a look at and really doing some cool things. I am loving this too. I feel sometimes war games are treated as a poor relation. I know some folks see them as violent, clicky games, but the strategy and tactics involved are just like chess, just chess with real wars. Very true. But you also learn something. And you have to, in order to be passionate, you have to learn from the hateful past of others. I really believe that. He said he was covering Warhammer 40K. That's pretty interdimensional. There you go, Mike. Larry, any Pacific war games? Yes, we will be covering the Pacific extremely well. Chris James asks, are you getting B17 Leader from DVG? I get everything from DVG. He just doesn't return my emails. I've begged him to pay attention and that we really want to support him and that we're fans. But we don't get the love from him. No, I am Red O of the Red 9. Okay. So, with that said, let's see. It's 6:26. We're doing pretty good here. A couple of the other things that we wanted to cover. I'm pretty much Warfighter World War II we're going to be doing live. Now, here's my plan for Saturday. Since the girls are all leaving, and the boy, my plan is to take the dogs out in the morning, get them completely exhausted, okay, so they sleep the entire afternoon. The minute they're out cold, click, we go live, and we will be doing Warfighter World War II. Then there is another game that is a one-player game that I plan on doing as well. So we're going to try to marathon it as close as we can, and we're going to do our best to just have some fun and you guys play along. And I think that would be a good day for Saturday. We should never forget those who fell to give us a free world. I am proud of my family who served in all wars, and to play the games to learn what history and hopefully what history has taught us. Very true. My family has always been in the military, including myself. And, we're very proud, but, also war is never the answer. But to be able to relive these battles, learn from them, hopefully honor all of those who fought. And there you go. I think we should be open to everybody's viewpoint on these wars. And, a lot of times people were forced to fight that didn't need to fight. Awesome that you're making this announcement on December 7th. Oh, it's almost like I planned it. I'm obsessed I missed it. I've been busy at work. I'll catch the next one live. Well said, Alan, says Dennis. And Serpium, don't worry, brother. We're always here, each and every single week, doing our best to give you guys as good a content as we possibly can. We'll also cover, a lot of ship wars, sale of ages and things like that. Let's not limit ourselves to just, having that World War II mentality. There were a lot of key battles, and I'd like to break out Age of Glory, Sales of Glory, which is a great game. Do some aerial combat, a lot of different stuff. How was the Gears of War game? It's very good, actually. Are you talking about Gears of War 4, the video game, or are you talking about the board game? Because I have it. It's still in the wrapper. Ugh. That's why I think war games are important. They're heat sinks for the most primal human instinct. Too bad we can't get the generals and leaders to use them instead of us. I think if anybody's ever seen that movie Patton with George C. Scott, when he goes, I think the way it should have been was Rommel go on one side, would come out and I'd be on the other side, and we both have tanks, and we wear these beautiful uniforms, and we'd come out, shake hands, go back into our tanks, and battle to the death, and whoever won the war. Now that's pretty cool. I haven't opened it, Ryan. I haven't opened it. Are there any Masonic games? I believe there are. I was a 7YW gamer using Koenig Craig Yules. Can't find them anymore. I do have them, believe it or not. They're somewhere in a tote on the other side there. I've got some totes that are full of magic. And when you open them up, they actually sing and birds come out. Sometimes I open up totes and I go, ooh, what's in here? And I'm shocked at what I find. I don't even realize half the stuff I have. Water. The elixir of life. I love Gears of War. It's a bit mechanical with enemy cards play, but once you get it going, it's hard as heck and really good fun. I like that. See, I've got it's still in the wrapper. We got to paint that bad boy. We got to finish painting this one, the original. I think I like that one best. Oh God, I got stuff I need to just give away. Give away. To the needy. Up next, Destiny, the board game. Hey, you never know. Both my granddad were in World War II. World War We 2-1 was a bombarder for the RAF, and the other landed on Sword Beach on June 6th. Wow. And Gray both went through some stuff during the war, and I respect them both. You should. It was our greatest generations. Are you a good Axis and Ally player, Ron? I'm pretty good. It's not a game I really enjoy, to be honest with you. I think it's just too vanilla. I like it, but I just I like things a little more strategic, and I'll be talking about that in the next moment. I've got a Prussian army and a French army. Frederick's the Great Days. Very cool. We'll also talk about the 100-Year War. The War of the Roses. You know, we're not going to... Diplomacy counts as a war game. Matter of fact, we'll be talking about that in the next hour, which I'm very excited about. My late father-in-law helped develop radar in World War II. He was a flight lieutenant in the RAF. I have some amazing photos he took all the way to Germany from D-Day. Very cool. Probably. Rob cleaned up at T3 as the humans. As I should. I just sat back and let them chew each other up. Why get my hands dirty? My father was shot up in Anzio and survived. I actually have that game. Anzio, there it is. I'm looking right at it. So, there you go. I think right now we're going to try to get the other feed all set up. You rock, Rob. See you on Friday. Ryan, I will see you then, my friend. Yeah, that's right. Don't forget Friday. For those of you that are just going to watch on this channel, that was so fun to watch. Don't forget this Friday. I'm doing it early so everybody overseas can watch it as well. We are going to do the 1 hour drawing of the numbers. Yes, That is correct. We are going to be giving away 20 games. And I'm excited because it's all going to get out of here. Go, leave, shipped, out. But then we have another 10 to give away almost 10 days later for Christmas. And we got a lot of cool stuff. So if you're not part of the patron, sign up. Get a part of it. Get in the box. Get in the box of goodness. For goodness sakes. That one, no matter when you sign up, if you sign up, as long as you sign up the day before, I will do a printout. And you will be in the box of goodness. It's my Christmas gift to all of you. Alan, I would love to see people, family pictures, to recognize the many war heroes we have in our great community. We need to pay them tribute. But fam in every branch. Navy, gotta love those Navy PR guys. I think anybody that served, no matter what country, deserves to be honored. They did their best to fight for what they believed in. Oh, goodness me. Okay, so with that said, I will see you guys, some of you at least, over at the Mighty Dice Tower very soon. And until about 15 minutes from now, we'll see you soon. Hope you enjoyed this, and we'll get this thing started off right. Thanks for kicking off and listening to about what we're going to be doing in the coming weeks on War and Pieces. Part 1 done. Let's get over and get started with part 2, where we actually talk about some subjects.